1.
Hello, friends, and welcome to this special video here on YouTube. Anthony Florio here along with Michael Fletcher. This is a special, you could say, Wrestling Forum video, as we are going to give our preview of the TNA Hardcore Justice pay-per-view. Hardcore Justice, of course, will be live tomorrow night from the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. 7 matches are on the card. So without further ado, let's get right down to it. First match we're going to discuss, it's a tag team match. It will be Chavo Guerrero teaming up with Supermax Hernandez, going up against the tag team of Kid Kash and Gunner. So let's start with you, Mikey. Who do you got in this one and why?
I gotta go with Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez in this fight, Anthony. Quite frankly, Chavo, this is his first real action in TNA. Ever since being signed to Impact Wrestling, I don't think they're gonna give him the raw deal on this night. Hernandez, Supermax, they're retooling his character a little bit, pushing it away from the Mexican America gimmick that they had for a long time. I just feel like in this situation, this isn't going to be an enjoyable fight. I'm sorry to say. I'm even going as far to call it possibly the worst fight of the night. It's just going to be there for the most part, but at the end of the day, I got to go with Supermax and Chavo Guerrero to get the win in this fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to be Chavo and Hernandez who wins this match. I mean, after all the time they spent building and hyping up Chavo Guerrero, you really want to have him lose on his first TNA pay-per-view? I don't think that would not be one of the best booking decisions that I would do. So, and as far as Hernandez is concerned, I agree with you. I mean, I'm so glad they got him out of Mexican America. I mean, no offense, but that stable just didn't really do anything for me. So. And Kid Kash and Gunner, well, they're just, Gunner, I hate to say, he's a bit of an enhancement talent somewhat, and Kid Kash, well, the veteran of the X Division, so, yeah, Hernandez and Chavo should win this match rather easily, and I agree with you, it should most likely be the worst fight of the night, unless any of these other fights have happened. I don't think they will. Alright, let's move on to our second match. It will be for the X Division Championship. Zema Ion defending the championship against Kenny King. Alright, tough one to call here. I mean, Zema Ion just won the title last month at Destination X, that unforgettable pay-per-view. And quite frankly, if you remember, if you saw the video that we did on our colleague Derek Guerrero's YouTube channel, SLB 2008-9, we gave Destination X a very high review. In fact, we call it the best TNA pay-per-view in years. Anyways, so for another day. But as far as this match is concerned, like I said, Ion won the belt at Destination X. I kind of want to see them give him a bit of a run here. Not as long as Bobby Roode got the TNA World Heavyweight Championship some time ago. I got this feeling they're going to have him hang on to it. I mean, I would love to see Kenny King win it. I think he's a great young talent. Those of you who don't know, he was a mainstay in ROH, and I know Fletcher and of course Derek would back that up. They are the ROH gurus. I know they probably saw his work in ROH when he was there. So, I gotta go with Zema Ion here. I think he's gonna cheat his way to victory. I mean, he is a kicking you-know-what heel, as we all know. He's a bit of an over-the-top heel. I'm not really a fan of his. I think he's a little green around the edges. I think he needs a little work in progress, if you will. The earliest possible day I can see him losing that X Division title would be maybe eventually when Jesse Storm comes back. They would want to keep the title on Ion and set up that long-awaited showdown with him and Jesse Storm. When that does happen, we could be looking at a 4 or 5-star match. The emotion and the drama built for that match. But on this night, I gotta go with Zema Ion to retain by nefarious means. That's all I gotta say about it. Mikey, who you got?
I totally agree, Anthony. I gotta go with Zema Ion as well. I truly believe that it's gonna be a cheat to win. Kenny King is a great young talent. I mean, he was a part of the All Night Express from ROH, was the last tag team champions in Ring of Honor before he did make the jump to to TNA, and unfortunately had to drop the belts at that point and was actually fired by Ring of Honor, but was easily scooped up by TNA, which was, in my opinion, the right decision at the end of the day. And he is this is the perfect fit for him. He's a great young talent in the X Division. I think this could be a sleeper fight of the night. I'm not going to say it will be the fight of the night, but it definitely has, if it's booked correctly, it could be a sleeper fight of the night. I could see this as maybe the fourth best fight on the card tomorrow night, just to say the very least.
All right, let's move on to our next match. We're going to talk about the matchup of the TNA Women's Knockout Championship. Champion Miss Tessmacher going up against the challenger Madison Rayne. So, Mikey, who you got in this one?
This one's actually real interesting because of the fact that I truly believe it depends on who the referee is. I mean, if it's Earl Hebner, then there's a very good chance we could crown a new Knockouts champion in Madison Rayne. If it's anybody else, then I think Brooke Tessmacher, or Miss Tessmacher, as they're now calling her again, will successfully defend the title. I think it's not gonna be as great as a match that I thought that we think it's gonna be, even though I think we can both agree that the TNA Knockouts is far and away more superior than the WWE Divas, and we've been talking about that numerous of times, especially on the Wrestling Forum. I think it's going to be a good match, not a great match. I could see maybe 1.5 stars, if I'm going with a pure prediction. But as far as a winner goes, like I said, it depends on who the referee is. But if you had to put an actual prediction right now, I gotta say Brooke Tessmacher wins the match and successfully defends the Knockouts title.
Yeah, same here. Tessmacher, I mean, how big of an improvement has she made? I mean, when she first came in, she was green as grass. Let's not get ourselves, but they have done an outstanding job with her. And all I can say right now is I love how they're booking her here in TNA. I mean, in WWE, she was just there, as we all know, part of Extreme Expose, even though we were Kelly and Layla, back on the ECW program a few years ago on the Sci-Fi Network. But I mean, I've even compared her to Eve Torres. I mean, she's got the look of an Eve Torres. I really believe that. And her wrestling ability has gotten so much better. Still a little green around the edge, but she's not as green as grass as she was when she first came in. So, of course, Madison, she's been champ before, and I do agree with you. It's going to definitely come down to who ends up wearing the striped shirt in this match. If it's anybody other than Earl Hebner, if it's a Brian Hebner or a Brian Stifler or whoever the other official is, if it's not Earl Hebner, then it's definitely going to be tough. There's no doubt about it. But if the referee is in fact Earl Hebner, then this has a screw job written all over it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like Montreal in any way, but I think this could be the female equivalent of Montreal, because Earl Hebner was the referee up in Montreal, screw job, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, that whole situation in '97. Because I know we'll get into that another day, but at the end of the day, I gotta agree. I gotta go with Tessmacher. I mean, she's the hot hand right now. I mean, she won the title back in June at Slammiversary, took it off Gail Kim, and she's done a great job defending that title. And so the only way I feel good about this prediction is if the referee is not Earl Hebner. I mean, if it's anybody but Earl Hebner, then we'll be okay. But if it's Earl Hebner, there's no doubt Madison's going to win it. But at the end of the day, we gotta go with Tessmacher in this one. Alright, let's move on to our next match. It'll be the first of 3, count them 3, Bound for Glory Series matches, 4-way Bound for Glory Series matches, each with hardcore stipulations. Oh boy, here we go. First up, it's going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match. Participants are D'Angelo De Niro, the host, Magnus, Mr. Anderson, and Rob Van Dam. winner gets 20 points in the Bound for Glory Series standing. Definitely has some major implications as we we are approaching the home stretch here in the Bound for Glory Series. Tough one to call here, but I'll be honest with you. I'm going to rule out D'Angelo De Niro, and I'm going to rule out Magnus. I think it's either going to be RVD or Anderson. I mean, they are, when it comes to that group of four, RVD and Anderson are the two most over guys. It's not fair to say. They'll probably want to go with the more over guy. Tough one to call, really is. But at the end of the day, if I have to really put my mind to it, if I really have to, really think hard about this, I got to go with the man who has the edge when it comes to ball carrying anywhere match lately, and that's been Mr. Anderson. I got to go with Ken Anderson in this match. He has been, I mean, I know the ball carrying stipulation works for RVD as well, dating back to his days in the old ECW, but I got to go with Anderson here because, the last few ball carrying matches I remembered him being in, he's won. This is really his style of match. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go with Ken Anderson to win this match. I'm thinking this is probably going to be fourth or fifth best fight of that time. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. So, all right, Mikey, who you got?
This one's actually one of the toughest. I think this is without a doubt the toughest call going into the series. I think if we really want to think about it, I mean, it can go any way, either way. It doesn't really. This is, like I said, this is one of the toughest ones that we can even predict up to this point. But you know what? I'm gonna go. I have to go with Rob Van Dam. I think Van Dam is definitely one that, like you said, they're gonna try to push, to say the very least. I think Anderson definitely would be a great favorite in the fight as well. I'm not really sure. I just think Rob Van Dam is going to win this Bound for Glory, at least this fight of the Bound for Glory series. And if he does win, then oh boy, this is going to be very, very, very interesting to say the very least. Because once you start breaking down the numbers, I mean, let's think about this. 20 points. If Mr. Anderson wins this fight, he goes to 60 points. He would catapult himself into second place overall. RVD is now 35 points. So a win here, he will be catapulted into second place. I mean, Magnus and the Pope are really lagging behind. They're really trailing behind. So I don't think they got much of a chance in this fight, Anthony. I think it's going to be either RVD or the Pope, but I got to go with Rob Van Dam.
All right, very good. Let's move on to our next match here. Our second Bound for Glory Series 4-way hardcore stipulation match. This is going to be a tables match. It'll be the Cowboy James Storm going up against Bully Ray, going up against the charismatic Enigma Jeff Hardy, and Robbie E. 20 points in the Bound for Glory Series standings to the winner of this one as well. So with that, Michael Fletcher, who you got in this one?
I gotta go with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is, I mean, him and Bully Ray are made for these type of fights. The tables fight are basically lore and legendary. If you remember the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys in WWE and the hardcore nature these guys used to throw at us, you basically would think instantly either Hardy or Bully Ray is gonna win this fight. I gotta go with Jeff Hardy in this situation because of the point situation. Jeff Hardy is sitting at 35 points right now. A win right here would basically put more pressure than anything else. He would leapfrog into second place overall and everything else. If James Storm wins this fight, he pretty much would have a stranglehold on the Bound for Glory series. He would be at 86 points. He practically would be almost a given to a series win. But I don't think they're going to do it just yet. I think they're going to continue it a little more. So I had to go with my heart, and I got to say Jeff Hardy wins tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I definitely want to reiterate your point there about the Hardys and the Dudleys. I mean, who could forget that tables match they had back at the 2000 Royal Rumble in Madison Square Garden? That was a fun match, as we all remember. And, of course, from the days of TLC, of course, with Edge and Christian, you know, SummerSlam in 2000 and WrestleMania 17, those two great matches. You gotta check those out. I mean, those were some of the greatest matches of all time. I know we'll talk about that on a future forum in the future, so we'll have to wait and see on that. Tough one to call here, but I'll do the process of elimination like I did with the last one. Robbie, come on, let's not kid ourselves. He's not going anywhere. I don't even know why he's in this series. I mean, he's the only gripe I have about the Royal Series. I mean, yeah, they gave him a moment. They gave him a chance, you know, on the Impact. You know, they put Jeff Hardy through a table, him and Robbie T, as we all know, this past Thursday night on Impact Wrestling. And that was just obviously to make him look good. No way he's going to this fight. I mean, if he wins this fight, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked, big time shocked if that should happen. James Storm, I agree. He is the leader, and if he wins this, obviously, it'll practically be a given, and it'll make the whole Bound for Glory series seem like a waste of time. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. We still think he's going to win the thing, and we still think it's going to most likely be him and Bobby Roode in the main event of Bound for Glory in Phoenix, Arizona. And if it should happen, then we're looking at possibly the 5-star match of the year right there. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I agree. It's either Jeff Hardy or Bully Ray. And you know what? I'll take a chance here, and I'll agree with you. I'll say it is going to be Jeff Hardy as well. I mean, he needs to win here, and I think they're definitely going to try to push him till the end. And I think the final four, it's going to be Storm. I think it's going to be Angle, Hardy, and the last one will either be Samoa Joe or Bully Ray. So that's how I see it. We'll have to wait and see how these matches go until then. But for right now, you got to go with the charismatic with Jeff Hardy. He needs to win the most here. So let's move on to our final Bound for Glory series match, a 4-way hardcore stipulation match. It's going to be a ladder match. A phenomenal AJ Styles against the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels. This is the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. And of course, the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. 20 points in the Bound for Glory series on the line. Okay. When it comes to the Bound for Glory series matches, this is going to be the best of all three. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, you got Angle, world-class athlete. Many people consider him the greatest wrestler, the best wrestler in the world. And you can definitely make the claim for that. AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, well, we know their history. And this is right up their alley. Samoa Joe, of course, phenomenal talent as well. I think we can rule out Christopher Daniels. I don't think he's going to win this match. You said that false fan anywhere match was the toughest. No, Mike, this one is the toughest of all. I mean, this could go either way. I mean, I really don't know who to go with. But what I do know is, I'm going to be honest with you, we're looking at the second best fight of the night overall. We're looking at possibly 4 to 4.5 stars if all goes well. And I hope it goes on. I hope they give these 4 a lot of time. Hopefully they'll get 20, 25 minutes for this fight. And we're looking at a classic hands down. I think I can rule out Styles and Daniels here because, you know, that whole Claire Lynch storyline, which we all know, pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable, inexcusable. Complete waste of time. You've heard our colleague Guerrero go on major rants about that storyline in his Impact Wrestling review video, SLB 2008 and he did that again this week. So I think we can rule out Styles and Daniels. I think it's going to be either Samoa Joe or Kurt Angle in this one. Angle's gotten a couple of wins. Very tough to call, I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, I'm going to take a chance here. And I'm going to go with Samoa Joe to win this match. I mean, for me, he's right there with James Storm in the Bound for Glory series standing. And I think if he should win this fight, I think at the end of this night, Samoa Joe will be number 1 in the Bound for Glory series standing. And he'll definitely be heading into the final 4, however they're going to do that. Most likely at the No Surrender pay-per-view next month. So, tough to call. I wouldn't be surprised if any of them wins, but at the end of the day, I got to go with Samoa Joe to win this fight. And I think he'll be at the top of the leaderboard by the end of the night, tomorrow night. So, all right, Mikey, what do you got in this one?
gotta minor disagree with you. I actually got Kurt Angle winning this fight. I do believe this will be the best fight out of the three in the series, no doubt about that. Yes, Daniels and AJ they'll probably cancel each other out in that situation. It's gonna come down to Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle, but I think Angle is going to be just a little better than Samoa Joe. I think that he'll win this fight. I think he'll get the 20 points. And I think Kurt Angle will walk out and win and have the lead after this event. He'll have 68 points if he does win it. He'll have a 2-point lead over James Storm. Basically what's going to go down is it goes like this, Anthony. Once we get to the September 6th show of Impact, the results will be locked. The top 4 getters will go to No Surrender, where basically you're going to have 2 semifinal fights, a one-night playoff. So 2 semifinal fights between the top 4 point getters. And then from there, they basically single elimination to decide who wins the series and who gets the shot at the TNA World Heavyweight title. I totally agree. I think James Storm, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle will be at the end. I think the 4th spot, I kind of have to say Mr. Anderson, though. I think it's going to be one of those where I think it's going to be like a 2-2. So I think that's the final 4. Angle wins the fight, and he gets the 20 points, and he will walk out of Orlando with the series lead.
And I just want to make one quick point before we get on to our main event here, and that is this Bound for Glory series this time around, much better than last year. I mean, last year was a complete waste of time. This year's series, we've gotten a lot more entertaining matches. I mean, we're guaranteed almost 3 to 3.5 star matches every week. I mean, except when Robbie is in there. So, all right, let's move on to our main event of the evening. This is the big one for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode. The loser of this match will not get a rematch ever again. Oh boy. This is huge. So, Michael Fletcher, I'm going to start it with you. Who walks out the TNA World Heavyweight Champion and why?
You know what? Because of that stipulation and because of the fact that because of the stakes that are in this fight, without a doubt, at first I was thinking that it was going to be Austin Aries. I was thinking Aries was going to win the belt. There's no way that Roode was going to, that they were going to make Aries a transitional champion, because if they did, look out, there's going to be a Mikey rant. However, because of the fact that this rule is applied to both men, I think Robert Roode is going to win the TNA World Heavyweight title, but he's going to do it by cheating. I think he is going to cheat to win, to recapture the gold, and then from there, basically, the era of selfishness is going to relaunch again in TNA. The biggest wild card in this fight, and I'm going to be real honest with you, there's a wild card in this fight, Anthony, and it's aces and eights. I mean, this group, this core, has terrorized TNA like the Nexus or the NWO of a number of years ago, and they've really caused a lot of havoc in TNA. I know there must be a winner. I know there must be, this is a huge main event fight, but TNA, they've been known to overbook finish a main event, especially with a championship on the line. There's 2 scenarios I see. Either Robert Roode wins by cheating, or this fight gets thrown out due to aces and eights. And believe it or not, Anthony, we could see another fight between these 2 men at No Surrender. I mean, what would not stop another shot, another fight, one more fight between these 2 men, which will probably be the best fight of the night, but I don't know, I got a bad feeling that we're going to get an overbooked finish and one of us is going to be ranting tomorrow night.
Yeah, I agree here. Aces and eights, I definitely fully expect interference from them in this match. This fight is not going to be the 4.5-star classic that we saw last month at Destination X. As of right now, the Destination X match with these two, it is the TNA match of the year for this year, as of right now. And because that match is absolutely off the hook, and 5 more minutes and it would have been a 5-star classic, but we gave it 4.5 stars. But that, we thought that was the best rating for that match. But anyways, as far as this fight is concerned, I still think it's going to be the fight of the night. But I think it's going to be more along the lines of a 3.5 to 4-star match at best, because of the aces and eights appearance here. And I agree. I mean, because of that stipulation, a likely choice here would be Bobby Roode to regain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. But I can definitely see that scenario, Mikey, that you just came up with. That scenario where aces and eights sticks their noses in their business where it doesn't belong, and then it ends up getting thrown out, and we have yet one more showdown with Aries and Roode next month at No Surrender. And then the winner from there will most likely face the winner of the Bound for Glory series at Bound for Glory in Phoenix, Arizona for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So many ways to go, but I definitely agree with you, Mikey. Either Bobby Roode wins the TNA World Heavyweight title by nefarious means, or the match gets thrown out because of the interference of aces and eights. So, all right. Before we wrap it up here, we're gonna give our overall thoughts on the pay-per-view, our overall projection here. Basically, I just want to know, are we gonna buy this pay-per-view, or are we gonna sell this pay-per-view? So, I'll start it off here. I gotta say buy, because we have that Aries and Roode world title match. I mean, the instant classic that we saw last month at Destination X. I think it's going to be just as good, but I don't think the sequel is going to be better than the original. Even though we hope that the sequel will be better than the original, but that's the main selling point here. Of course, you got all 3 of those Bound for Glory series hardcore stipulation matches with the 20 points on the line. Definitely want to see how those play out. Kenny King, Zema Ion X Division title, that potentially be 2.5 to 3 stars. We'll have to wait and see. The women's match looks okay, but those 5 matches I mentioned, Aries and Roode, the Bound for Glory series fights, all 3 of them, and King and Ion, those are most likely going to be the best matches of the night. I hate to say it, but I think the women's match and the tag team match with Chavo and Hernandez against Kid, Kash, and Gunner, those are going to most likely be the 2 worst fights of the night. But you never know, they could surprise. But at the end of the day, buy or sell, I gotta say buy. I think I'm gonna order this pay-per-view tomorrow night, and we'll see how it turns out. So I say buy. Mikey, what do you think? Are you gonna buy or sell the pay-per-view?
No, I gotta buy this pay-per-view. I think TNA has done really well lately with their pay-per-views, and they've really had a nice run here, especially with their Impact success, because Impact has actually done really well as a quality of a show. Even though the ratings doesn't stack up as we would hope that it would, but TNA has done far better now than they've ever done before, and I really think it's because of the live aspect of the show. It actually makes it more quality, and it actually gives us good action. And this Bound for Glory series has been amazing, one of the best ever we can agree on that. And yes, the matches itself is going to be unbelievable. I mean, I'm excited for a lot of these fights. The 3 Bound for Glory fights are going to be very good, to say the very least. I'm excited for. Of course, the main event for the TNA World title, the whole world's ready for that one. And then, like you said, Kenny King and Zema Ion, that could be a sleeper fight of the night. And like you said, even the knockouts could surprise. I mean, it just depends on how they book it and how it's played out. I think, like we said, this is a great opportunity for TNA to really make a name for themselves here, and I think they will. I think they definitely got a great momentum, especially after Destination X, which was unbelievably probably the pay-per-view of the year for TNA this year, up to this point. I mean, and plus you got Bound for Glory just 2 months from now. I mean, they're really building a good thing. I can't wait to see it tomorrow night. Yes, I will buy it. No doubts about that.
All right. That'll do it for this video. Of course, tomorrow night at 11 o'clock, you can join myself, Michael Fletcher, and our colleague Derek Guerrero on his YouTube channel, SLB 2008-09, as the three of us will give our thoughts and our reviews of the Hardcore Justice pay-per-view. And then, of course, Monday night at 11, we will have an all-new episode of the Wrestling Forum, where myself, Michael Fletcher, Derek Guerrero, and our other colleague, Michael Bullock, we're going to go down the latest news and views in the world of professional wrestling, as well as give our review of last Friday's SmackDown, and of course Monday Night Raw episodes 1003, which of course, as we all know, is the go-home show for the 25th anniversary of SummerSlam. And then on Friday night, of course, at 10:30, an all-new episode of Strictly Sports. Derek Guerrero will be back at the controls for that one. I want to thank him again for allowing me to host last night. I had a lot of fun with it. And then, of course, next Saturday night, mark this on your calendars for Saturday night, August the 18th. We don't have a time yet. It's going to be either 10 or 10:30. I know Derek Guerrero will have all the details for it. But we're going to have a special Saturday night edition of the Wrestling Forum, where the four of us will not only are we going to have our preview of the 25th anniversary of SummerSlam, but we're going to do a special power rankings. We're going to do our top 10 greatest matches in the history of SummerSlam. So that's going to be a very tough power ranking, to say the very least. So tune into that next Saturday night. Like I said, Derek Guerrero, I know we'll probably have all the details. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. So that'll do it for this video. So until tomorrow night, when we do our Hardcore Justice review or recap, I'm Anthony Floyd for Michael Fletcher saying, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up. Bye for now. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night, folks.